Introducing to you the Chuck Box, the ultimate camp kitchen and the best way to stay organized for camp life. Now you've likely seen something like this before, but this Chuck Box, well, it's simple, functions as it should, and anyone can build it. Now starting with the top cubby, I designed this thing to fit around our 1-burner classic cook stove. If you've camped before, I'd be willing to bet you have one of these lying around. Some heat-resistant gloves are just the ticket to go in with the stove as well. They function as hot pads. If you guys want to know just how I built this, be sure to stick around to the end of the video. I'll provide the cut list and show you what it takes to build one. Now the beauty of a Chuck Box is that you can design it however you want to store whatever you want. In this middle left compartment, you can see I can store my mocha pot, which is my preferred method for making coffee. We've got some matcha, some coffee grounds, and then in the back, we've also got some spices. I keep a very basic array of spices. Once I get some better containers, I'll be able to fit more, but chili powder, avocado oil, salt and pepper, that's all I need. In the middle, I keep it pretty simple. We've got a spatula, some magnetic cutware, fork, knife, spoon, and then in the back, we've just got a little bag of sponges, just for basic cleanup. On the right side, again, pretty simple, pretty basic. This is just an ultralight titanium cook pot that I usually take on backpacking trips, but it fits perfect. And then I like to keep some plastic grocery bags in with it, and those function as my garbage bags. Here we've just got some extra butane fuel cartridges for the 1-burner cook stove. You never want to run out of fuel while you're cooking a meal. I also like to throw in this little guy. This is just a basic LED light bulb that's powered off AAA batteries. If it's dark out, it might come in handy. Next up, second shelf from the bottom, this is where we store the cast iron. This is just a cast iron skillet and a cast iron griddle that I picked up from a thrift store a couple of years ago. I cleaned them, seasoned them, and man, did they work well. They're sitting on just a flexible, very, very lightweight cutting board that I cut the size to fit right into that shelf. It works perfect. Now in the bottom compartment, we have a few things. We have our mugs, of course, for Tessa, one for me, and these are for our morning coffee or our matcha, whatever we feel like drinking that morning. We have our Magic Mind mental performance shots and our Magic Mind sleep elixirs. More on that in a second. And then we've got, believe it or not, a full paper towel roll that can fit perfectly horizontally in the back. You just have to smush it down just a little bit. It does fit. And then you have a perfect paper towel roll for basic cleanups or whatever you might need these for. And then again, we have another flexible and small cutting board. Now optionally, I designed and sized this bottom compartment to also fit a 3.5 quart Dutch oven if you take the lid and invert it so the pot has a smaller profile. We used it to cook a big pot of mac and cheese on our camping trip, and man, it was good. Now I have likely mentioned it here on the channel, but if you guys didn't know, my full-time day-to-day job is that I'm a career firefighter paramedic. And if you know anything about the firefighter schedule, it's that one, we work long ones, anywhere up to 24 to 48 to 72 hour shifts. And they can get really, really tiring, and when you don't sleep for a while, your mental health can really take a beating. Now 3 nights ago, I was at work, first night of my 48-hour shift, didn't go to bed till 3 a.m., was back up at 5 a.m. for a call, got horrible sleep, and basically I had to wait another 24 hours before I could go to bed at my own home once I got off shift. It was horrible. So yesterday when I got off shift, I basically napped, slept all day, and then at night, I really wanted to ensure that I got a good night's sleep. So I took the Magic Mind Sleep Elixir. Helps you, 1, fall asleep faster, improve sleep quality, and wake up refreshed. Slept all night really, really hard. Woke up today feeling refreshed, and then I added in Magic Mind's normal mental performance shot. Helps to sharpen your mind, lower stress, and gives you calm energy. And today, I'm feeling absolutely fantastic. And that right there is how I use Magic Mind and incorporate their products into my daily routine to help my mental health. So for the first time, Magic Mind is offering the 24 hours pack, which includes the focus shot and the sleep shot bundled into one. Now, if you guys want to check it out, follow my link down in the description box below. Use the discount code, all caps, Danny S. Jan, and that'll get you 45% off the 24-hour pack. So whether you guys are seeing this video in January of 2025 or in the later months or even later years, I challenge you to increase your mental resilience, which in turn will increase your mental wealth. I think we can all do better, and there's no better time to start than now. All right, so let's build this thing. Starting with the tools you'll need. You'll need a table saw, and I can't recommend this one enough as it will ensure nice, square, 90-degree cuts. You'll need a drill, a pocket hole jig, and pocket hole screws. Now, if you've never used a pocket hole jig before, don't let it intimidate you. Trust me, it is a breeze to use and to figure out. A good tape measure will never let you down. Same goes for a square. Helps to ensure all your corners are 90 degrees. You'll need some wood glue, an 18-gauge brad nailer and nails, a jigsaw. An orbital sander with 180 grit sandpaper will probably do you the trick. You don't need it, and you can probably do it by hand. This will make the job a lot easier. This is a 1-inch spade or paddle bit, kind of self-explanatory, just used to cut the knob holes. You'll need a total of 4 overlay hinges. You'll need a couple of barrel bolt latches. Now, you don't necessarily need them, but I put them on just to keep the doors from swinging open during transit or while moving the chuck box. They really work well. And finally, and optionally, you could use a trim router with a roundover bit, some magnetic door catches, and a circular saw to help and assist with other parts of this build. Now, the entire chuck box was built using 1/2-inch birch plywood. Well, hold on a minute, except the back panel. For that, I used a thin 1/8 of an inch thick piece of plywood, and if I could go back and do this whole project again, I would change it to a 1/4 inch thick piece of plywood for the back panel. Now, for the rest, why birch plywood? 1, it was what I had lying around, and if you've got it, use it. 2, the birch ply, it's just a little bit lighter than the standard construction grade plywood you might use. And 3, it just looks nice. The birch is a hardwood and has a nice looking grain to it. Now, I drew the entire design of this chuck box out on a couple of note cards, wrote the entire cut list on the back, and to save you guys just a little bit of time so you don't have to decipher my chicken scratch, I'll pop the entire cut list up here on the screen. Check it out. Okay, so here is our cut list. I definitely recommend just cutting all of your pieces before you begin assembling. It will really help with the workflow and make it nice and easy to assemble when the time comes. Now, well, it's just time to assemble. Grab your pocket hole jig, 1-inch pocket hole screws, grab some wood glue, and start assembling it as shown. You'll have a chuck box in no time. So what I found is that 1-inch pocket hole screws are the ticket for creating this box and just securing it all to each other. I tried 3/4 inch and they're just too small. They won't bite into the wood, but 1 inch is actually like seeming a little bit long. I was having just a minuscule amount of screw poking out of the bottom, but I'm just not driving them all the way in, and that's just gonna have to do with wood glue and having 6 pocket holes on each side. They'll do just fine. So maybe just something to keep in mind. All right, so our box doesn't look too bad. It's square, chink, and I'm pretty happy with it. So now we have our 3 boards all cut at 13.5 inches wide, and then they're just going to create our shelves. Okay, so pocket holes are screwed. Technically, this is going to make up the little compartment where my stove is going to go. And I think to make it easiest, I'm gonna flip it around and we're gonna work on it from the bottom here. And so I've just got these little gauges that I made. Maybe on the next ones I'll make them a little bit bigger, but you kind of get the idea. They're both cut at 4 3/4 inches. And I can just use them to place them on while I get this secured. Do just a dab of wood glue here. Okay. she's snug. That was the plan. All right. Both of these are cut at 4.5 inches tall. So we're raising this one up 3 inches. So next we have our 2 pieces that slide in pretty well, kind of like so. Kind of get the point. So gonna be like spices, silverware, and then butane canisters, kind of my thought. It's starting to rain. I hope it just kind of blows over, so I really don't want to clean all this up until I'm done. Now I didn't show it, but I did use wood glue on these pieces as well, and because space was so minimal, I wasn't able to use pocket holes to secure those slot pieces in place, so I went ahead and used my 18 gauge brad nailer to do it instead. Time for the back panel. I thought it'd be easy enough to just go ahead and trace it. Again, I used an 1/8 inch thick piece of plywood. If I could go back, I'd use a 1/4 inch. But this is where the circular saw came in handy. Easy cut. So I accidentally forgot to hit record, but I went ahead and wood glued this sheet of plywood to the chuck box, and then we're just throwing in a few nails in a few places to hold it in place, and that'll be that. Then it was time to attach our hinges to our doors, and then our doors to the chuck box. Pretty satisfying part. So to be completely honest, I did take the doors off the hinges and I ran them through the table saw one more time on the bottom and the sides. And it made for just a really clean way for them to close. You know, I'm really happy with how it came out. It's very basic, it's very simple, but it'll really, really help with our organization in the bowler for when we go camping. I will mention the hinges that I used, they were left over from the cabinet doors and everything that I made in the bowler. I think they might be a little bit big for this 1/2 inch plywood. As you can see, there's a little bit of a gap right there, but it works. I didn't have to pay anything for them, so I'm not mad about it. Someday maybe I'll replace them. Okay, so the last thing we have to do is I just want to cut out some holes in the sides to use as handles to lift up. And so what I have here is just another little depth gauge, so it's equal on each side. And then I went into my little cabinet into my garage and I just found some neem oil, and that has nothing to do with it, but I like the bottom shape of it. So I'm going to trace that with a pencil, and then I'll cut this out with a jigsaw. So after a little bit of sanding, I decided to fire up the old Harbor Freight trim router with a roundover bit, and I just used it on the knob holes and the handles on each sides, gave it a nice smooth edge, and it worked really well. One last sanding for good measure, and then I just had to put the hinges back on for the last and final time, and that was it. Our chuck box was done. that is the tour, that is the build, and I hope that you guys kind of took something from it and that you'll now be inspired to build one yourselves. I absolutely love how this thing came together. It's organized and it's easy to access and it's mobile and it's strong. And overall, it's just a really, really easy build and you don't need a lot of woodworking experience to make one. Trust me, if I can make one, you can make one too. Now, if you guys enjoyed this video, be sure to leave a big thumbs up on it, comment down below, and subscribe to the channel. Big thanks to Magic Mind for sponsoring today's video. Danny S. Jan will get you 45% off your order of the 24-hour pack, and that includes the mental performance shot and the sleep elixir, and I highly recommend it to you guys. Be sure to check it out by clicking the link down in the description. And that is it, you guys. Thank you so much for watching, and we will see you on the next one.